Money Radio, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. And joining us now, always a pleasure to welcome Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Sinclair.
Laura Bramnick is an attorney. She is also a real estate agent. She has been working in real estate for many years, holds an active Arizona real estate license. She's been an instructor, certified instructor with the Arizona Department of Real Estate, and she is licensed through the State Bar of Arizona, specializing in real estate. So when it comes to real estate transactions, you can really serve as a consumer advocate for your real estate clients, not just helping them buy and sell, but really representing them.
Yes, it's important to come up with a plan and to be proactive. And because I've seen so many different situations, it really helps me help my clients avoid some of the dangers and pitfalls that can happen.
You work in residential, commercial, as well as land transactions.
Correct.
480-624-2705, that's Laura's phone number. 480-624-2705, and the website TalkRealEstateAZ.com. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Laura, I know you work many times with property that has been passed along as part of an estate, and it is inherited by, typically it's going to be inherited by children.
Yes.
It may be adult children.
Yeah, especially if that's the only asset.
Right.
You know, that means many times there may not be a will, there may be a beneficiary deed, and
Or there may be a will, there may be a trust.
exactly.
Yeah, the paperwork may be good, but then you get into family situations and you open up a can of worms.
Yeah, the situation that I see that causes the most problems is when there's more than one adult child and one of them has been living in the property with the mother.
Which happens frequently.
It can happen, they may be single, they may fall on hard times, they may have been taking care of the mother.
Right.
And so a lot of situations which are in and of themselves not contentious. But then many times what happens is the mom dies, the adult child continues to live there, but nobody negotiates what's going to happen with the house. And time goes by, and then all of a sudden one of the other adult children who's not occupying the property realizes that they either want or need their share. And
So then they say, we need to sell the house.
Yeah.
And then the question is, what's the actual share that goes to each person? Is it the same as when mom passed away, or has it changed over time?
Exactly. So the first issue is usually the adult child that's in the house doesn't want to sell. They want to stay in the house. And they've probably been carrying the property, in other words, paying the insurance and the taxes, if there's a mortgage, making the mortgage payment.
Right.
And so the issue is, what is the value of each piece of this? First of all, you need to get the property appraised.
Right, sure.
And it really will have to do with current value, not value as of the date of death. The value as of the date of death deals more with taxes. You know, income taxes and capital gains taxes.
Okay.
But the current value is what is going to be considered if for some reason the siblings can't come to an agreement and a court has to decide.
And if one of the children inheriting the property has lived there for a while, should they have been paying rent to the others?
And that's the issue. The court determines what they call fair and equitable. And so what you have to consider is who's paying the mortgage, who's paying the taxes, who's paying the insurance, who's making the repairs, and who's doing the upkeep. That's one part of it. The other part of it is, has anybody made any capital improvements to increase the value of the property? And then you also have the rental value. Because That's correct. The adult kids who are not occupying the property are entitled to a portion of rental value.
Right.
At least that's what I advocate for my clients.
And it would also sound like if this situation comes up, the smart thing to do would be to work out some sort of agreement between the adult children involved as to what kind of value to place on something before a few years pass.
Yes, because if you can do that and come up with a plan, then you don't have to deal with, oh, I could have rented it out for the last 5 years, because
Yeah.
you're establishing your share at that time and coming up with a plan, okay, we have to sell it and divide the proceeds this way, or you, the sibling that's living in the house, needs to refinance and pay the rest of us off in
Right.
cash. And so, but what you don't want what you want to try not to do is let a court decide, because in addition to obtaining an appraisal, a court will appoint a commissioner, which is usually a real estate agent or real estate broker. And once they appoint the commissioner, that commissioner makes all the decisions for the house. They determine what the rental value is, they determine what the value of the improvements are, those types of things. And then they determine each person's share. It is approved by the court, however.
Right.
And if the person who wants to stay in the house can't afford to buy the others out, then the house is sold, and there's a lot of costs involved because that realtor gets a commission. And then you divide up the cost of sale among the siblings. So you're saving a lot of money if you can resolve it yourself based on a specific formula.
And the best way to resolve it is to resolve it early before time passes. This gets back to the old idea that we've talked about so many times: an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you can anticipate possible problems and come up with an agreement before time passes and it becomes a problem, you could save yourself a ton of money.
Yeah, because if you haven't resolved it, it's not just the rental value, but your siblings will share in the appreciation.
Right?
And because they have lost the value of their money during that time.
It's an important issue, and one that probably a lot of people do not pay a lot of attention to.
You know, it's not a bad idea for someone who owns property, who's leaving it to their children, to set up a plan in their estate about how they want the property to be handled.
And if that doesn't happen, it's a smart idea for the children to set up a plan
Yes,
when the property is about to be passed to them.
exactly.
Smart. Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. That's the website. You can find out more about a variety of issues there. And also contact information, TalkRealEstateAZ.com, or call 480-624-2705. If you have a question, Laura answers her own phone, 480-624-2705. Laura, important information again. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sinclair.